Apart from the controls such as the trigger, the selector, the magazine release, and things like that, the places we interface with an AR are the stock, the grip, and the handguard. The handguard is the first thing you want to think about upgrading or replacing. Most basic carbines come with a delta ring type arrangement with a ribbed black handguard that doesn't have any way to attach accessories, although for many manufacturers your rifle actually may come from the manufacturer already equipped with Magpul furniture, whether it's Smith & Wesson, Sig Sauer, Ruger, and other manufacturers. It could already come equipped with Magpul furniture, in which case you're probably already set to be able to add accessories on it. If it does not, first thing, like I said, you want to talk about is that handguard. And the reason for that is we want to be able to attach our sling in a very ergonomic fashion, as well as being able to add a defensive light. Apart from everything else that we already talked about for a basic setup, the next thing we want to add is a light. And the reason for that is having a quality light helps us out because most defensive encounters happen during periods of darkness. A light allows us to better identify our target as well as to be able to place our rounds more accurately. So the next thing you want to think about after a basic carbine setup is to get a light, and the way you need to do that is to have a handguard that allows accessory addition and mounting. Of note is there are several different lengths of forend on ARs. These can be, you can easily measure and determine which one you have. There's carbine, there's mid-length, and there's rifle. There's online resources that show you what that measurement is in order to help you choose. Just choose the appropriate one for your rifle. And as long as you have a delta ring set up like this, it's a quick change, 5 minutes or less, and you're in the game with the ability to change that out. Grips are extremely personal, various sizes all the way down from the K grip up to the K2. We have rubberized grips, non-rubberized grips, textured grips, grips with storage, grips without storage. Take a look at the website, see what's interesting there. Grips, there are some small parts that can come out when you change out a grip, although it's not very complicated. If you're at all comfortable with tools, the instructions in the box should allow you to swap that out very easily, but gunsmiths can do that very low fee if you have any trouble or questions with it. Stocks are extremely personal. We make stocks all the way from extremely small, fast and light stuff such as the SLK to a full-featured SLS or ACS that have storage tubes and compartments and things like that for various applications. We have a series of stock videos on our website that walk through the entire line and tell you what the pros and cons of all those are. So I encourage, just like the slings, to get on there and look at all those category videos when making a stock choice and choose one that fits you best. Most of our stocks, especially those that go on a carbine type buffer tube, remove and replace without tools, and most have fairly comprehensive instructions if there are tools required. If you have a metal Freefloat handguard, you're all set up as far as accessory attachments are concerned, but if you have a regular delta ring carbine or a regular conventional handguard and you want to switch to a metal Freefloat handguard, just be advised that there are some gunsmithing operations required there. You're going to have to change out your barrel nuts and things like that. So if you're not extremely comfortable with the platform, you're a new gun owner, it's best to have a gunsmith install the metal Freefloat rails. Whether it is a metal Freefloat rail or the Mo handguard, all those accessory attachment slots allow you to do things like that basic light that we talked about, but also allow you to attach things like rail covers, grips, and hand stops and things like that up here, which help with the ergonomic operation of the firearm. So lots of things to consider, but the basics are really what we covered on this carbine. Get your setup, get yourself a light, sling, ammunition, magazines, furniture that fits you, optics, sights. We'll go from there. One of the most important things you can do as a new firearms owner is to get training. Right now that may be a little more difficult. There are some online resources. NRA has some online resources they've just released right now to allow you to learn firearm safety and basic firearm stuff from the safety of your own home. There's also many online resources out there in both paid sites like Patreon as well as for free consumption that get you going in the general direction, but there is no substitute for in-person training and getting out to the range and taking an actual class. I encourage every firearm owner to get some training in person at the range, become more proficient, and become more comfortable with that firearm. That also increases your safety with that firearm. The better you know it, the less likely you are to make some mistakes with it. So get out there, get some training as soon as possible, and in the meantime, learn as much as you can about safety, proficiency, and application from online resources and things like that. This is an extremely basic overview meant to just get you pointed in the right direction. We'd encourage you to continue to learn out there. Go ahead and look at those resources we've talked about, get some training whenever you can, and come back here and take a look at some of the resources that we're going to continue to produce. Until then, continue to learn your firearm, get your basic setup dialed in, get some training, and above all, be safe.